Kính thưa các thầy, kính thưa các sư cô, và đại chúng. Hôm nay là ngày mùng 1 tháng 9 năm 1999. Chúng ta đang ở tại trường Đại học California, Santa Barbara. Và đây là ngày đầu tiên của khóa tu. Có lẽ tôi sẽ nói tiếng Anh trong nửa giờ và sau đó sẽ nói tiếng Việt. Nói tiếng Anh cho những người trẻ để họ có thể nghe rõ ràng hơn, tại vì có thể tiếng Việt họ đang yếu.
Có những người lớn tuổi sẽ không hiểu tiếng Anh thì có nên dần vào văn chương để có hệ thống.
Welcome to the retreat. Our purpose is to practice in order to make peace with ourselves and make peace with the people we love and also with society. Meditation is a kind of discipline. It is like mathematics or tennis. Students of mathematics can enjoy mathematics very much. They can get a great deal of pleasure in learning and practicing mathematics. The same thing is true with tennis. You can enjoy training in tennis. You can get a lot of pleasure doing tennis. With meditation, it is the same. Meditation is not hard labor. It can be enjoyable, and we enjoy doing meditation. In fact, if your practice of meditation is not pleasant, then it is not good meditation. Therefore, during the time we practice meditation, we should get the pleasure we deserve. Thầy just said that the purpose of practicing meditation is to cultivate peace within oneself and also cultivate peace and harmony between oneself and other people, including our parents, our friends, and our society, because relationship is so important to our happiness. If we have a difficult relationship with our father or mother, and then happiness could not be possible. Sometimes you are concerned about other things like your health and your success, but you know very well that success cannot assure our happiness when the relationship between us and our parents become difficult, when communication has become impossible. Therefore, success is not the basic condition for our happiness. And as young people, it seems that we have enough health, we don't care much about it, but we very much care about our success. But we all have learned that without a good relationship between us and the other person, happiness cannot be possible. If a relationship between a son and a father is difficult, and then both son and father suffer. If the relationship between daughter and mother is difficult, and then happiness could be impossible for both of them, and therefore relationship is so important, and we have to learn how to improve the quality of that relationship. And of course, communication is very important. How to keep communication alive, how to keep communication open between us and the other person or persons. And this is something we can do with the practice of meditation. To meditate does not mean to withdraw from society, from the world. To meditate is to provide us with an opportunity to improve the quality of life, daily life. And practicing for 3 days or 5 days can already improve the situation a lot. We just finished a retreat for the American, for 820 Americans in the state of Vermont. The retreat lasted only 6 days, and many people have come as families. They have practiced walking meditation, sitting meditation, breathing in mindfulness, eating in mindfulness, Dharma discussion. And after 6 days, many people, the majority of them, have undergone a lot of transformation and healing. People get the transformation just after 5 or 6 days of practice, and they could reconcile among themselves in a family. They could smile again. They could forgive each other, and they can improve their relationship just by the practice. And that is why we should have the confidence in the practice we are learning. Thầy has offered many retreats a little bit everywhere in the world, in Asia, in Europe, in North America, and each retreat is attended by so many people, because there are people who have attended these retreats who have got the transformation and healing. That is why they have told their friends, and that is why every time we offer a retreat like this, many people can come. And if we really care about our transformation, our healing, if we really get down to the practice that we receive from our teachers, and then we can improve the situation of our life very quickly. The practice of mindful breathing, the practice of mindful walking is so important, and every one of us has to learn and train himself or herself. It is not by listening to the teaching that you can transform yourself and heal yourself from your suffering. It is by training, by learning, by practicing. That is why during the next 5 days, we have to get down to the practice. We have to join the Sangha, the community, in the practice of walking mindfully, in the practice of breathing mindfully, in the practice of speaking mindfully, eating mindfully, and so on. And I assure you that there will be a transformation at the end of the retreat. During this retreat, there will be many sounds of the bell. And every time we hear the sound of the bell, we have to practice going back to our breath. Breathe in mindfully and breathe out mindfully at least 3 times. When you breathe in, you say silently, listen, listen. It means I listen with all my heart. I listen with all my heart. And when you breathe out, we smile and we say, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. In Vietnamese, lắng lòng nghe, lắng lòng nghe. Tiếng chuông huyền diệu đưa về quê hương. Tiếng chuông huyền diệu đưa về quê hương. When you breathe in, you have to concentrate on your in-breath, and you just listen to the sound of the bell. The sound of the bell is considered to be the voice of the Buddha within us, calling us to go back to our true home. Our true home is the here and the now, where life is possible. Our true home is where we can touch our parents, our ancestors, ourselves, our peace, our joy. And that is why the practice of meditation is to go back to our true home. The Buddha said that life is available only in the here and the now. He said that the past is already gone. The past is already dead. And the future is not yet there. There is only one moment for us to live. That is the present moment. You have an appointment with life in the present moment. Because life is available only in the present moment. And if you miss the present moment, you miss your appointment with life. It's clear. That is why, in order to touch life deeply, in order to live our life deeply, we have to learn how to go back to the present moment and live that moment deeply. That is why we train ourselves to go back to the present moment. Every time we hear the bell, we go back to the present moment. Every time we breathe in, we go back to the present moment. Every time we make a step, we go back to the present moment. Always go back to the present moment in order to be truly alive. If you allow yourself to get caught in the regret concerning the past, if you allow yourself to get caught in the fear concerning the future, in the worries concerning the future, you get lost. You are carried away either by the past or by the future, and you have no chance in order to live your life deeply, because your life can be lived deeply only when you settle in the present moment, in the here and the now. That is why every time we hear the sound of the bell, we stop our thinking, we stop our talking, we stop our action. We go back to our breathing and we say, listen, listen. We breathe in peacefully with a lot of pleasure. And when you breathe out, you say, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. Again, our true home is the here and the now. The address of our true home is in the here, in the now. That is the zip code. That is the real address. And I would like to tell you that the true home of the Buddhas, the true home of the Bodhisattvas, the home of our ancestors, the home of life, the home of peace and of joy and happiness is at the same address, the here and the now. If you want to meet your ancestors, if you want to meet yourself, if you want to touch your peace and your joy and your happiness, you have to go back to the here and the now. This is the teaching of the Buddha. And our true home here, it means life. Life as manifested in the here and in the now. When we practice walking, every step we make brings us back to the here and the now also. And that is why walking is at the same time arriving. Every step brings you home. There is a wonderful short poem that we have to memorize for the practice of breathing and walking. I have arrived. I am home. In the here, in the now. I am solid. I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. Đã về, đã tới. Bây giờ, ở đây, vững chãi, thảnh thơi, quay về, nương tựa. During the next 6 days, we shall practice walking meditation together. It's very important to memorize that poem in order to practice. When you breathe in, you might like to make 2 steps or even 3 steps. And every step you make is accompanied by the word, I have arrived. Suppose when you breathe in and you make 2 steps, you can say silently, I have arrived. I have arrived. And you try your best to arrive. And you know the destination of your arrival is the here and the now. It means that you don't allow yourself to get caught in the regret about the past. You don't allow yourself to be carried away by the fear and by the excitement about the future. I have arrived. It means I have arrived in the here, in the present moment. I have arrived. I have arrived. This is a very strong practice. This is a strong determination not to allow ourselves to be carried away to the past or to the future. And when you breathe out, you say, I am home. I am home. You resist. You resist being carried away. So you walk like a free person. A free person is a person who is not caught by the past or by the future. A free person is a person who is capable of living in the here and the now. Because only in the here and the now that you can touch the wonders of life that are available. Many of our parents, because when they came here, they brought with them a lot of sorrow, of suffering. And they kept thinking about the past. Then they were not capable of establishing themselves in the here and the now. There were nights when they spent the whole night crying and thinking about their land, their suffering. And that is a handicap, because they cannot get rid of the past easily in order to cope with the present, in order to build a future for themselves and for their children. And that is why the teaching of the Buddha is so important. Let us not be caught by the past. Let us settle in the present moment and take care of ourselves, take care of our children, take care of our beloved ones. And don't worry about future. And if we spend time to be afraid of the future, we will lose all our energy. That is why it's very important to focus, to concentrate in the here and the now. And that is the real teaching of the Buddha. I have arrived. I have arrived. I am home. I am home. The Buddha said that life, with all its wonders, can only be touched if we go back to the present moment. The sky may be very blue, very beautiful. The sunset may be splendid. But if we are caught in the past, or if we are caught in the future, and then the blue sky is not for us. The beautiful sunset is not for us. Because in order for you to enjoy the blue sky or the beautiful sunset, you get to be there in the here and the now. And that is a strong practice. The flower can be very beautiful. Our little boy can be lovely. Our little girl is like an angel. But if you are caught by the suffering of the past, by the worries about the future, and then the flower is not available to us. Our little boy is not available to us. Our little girl is not available to us. Our father is not available to us. Our mother also is not available to us. And you lose everything if you get caught in the past and the future. And that is why, in order to not to waste our life, we have to go back to the here and the now. So every time you hear the bell, you practice going back to your breath and arrive in the here and the now and touch life deeply in that moment. In the beginning of the practice, the quality of our breathing is still very low. But if you continue to practice mindful breathing like that for a few minutes, the quality of your breathing will improve. As you continue to breathe in and out and become aware of your in breath and out breath, your breath will become deeper, more harmonious. And if your breath has become subtle, deeper, and more harmonious, your body will profit. There will be more peace and more harmony within your body. Also, your mind will profit. Your mind will be more peaceful, more harmonious. That is why to go back to your breathing, to breathe mindfully is a very important practice. Because after a few minutes of breathing like that, you calm your body and you calm your mind and you begin to have some peace within yourself. Every time you get angry, every time you get upset, every time you get fearful, you are not in peace. You got to do something in order to overcome that state of being. And in the practice of Buddhist meditation, you may like to take up the practice of walking meditation or just mindful breathing. Because if you know how to walk mindfully, we call it walking meditation. If you know how to practice mindful breathing, we call it mindful breathing. You can cope with the difficulties within yourself. There is irritation, there is anger, there is despair, there is fear in you. And you should not allow these negative energies to overwhelm you and to push you to do things that you don't want to do, to push you to say things that you don't want to say. Because if you say that, if you do that, and then you will cause a lot of damage to you and to the person you love. This is very important. There is a kind of energy in us that is called habit energy. In Vietnamese, tập khí. It is very harmful energy. And every one of us has that negative energy within us. Many of us are intelligent. We know very well that if we say that, if we do that, we will cause a lot of damage between us and the other person. Our intelligence tells us that if we go ahead and say that, we will destroy everything. If we go ahead and do that, we will destroy everything. And yet, we cannot resist. We go ahead, we say it, we go ahead, we do it, and we create damage in our relationship. Our intelligence does not help because the habit energy in us is stronger, is much stronger than our intelligence. Remember, that day, you knew very well that you should not say it. You know very well that you should not do it. but you did it anyway, you said it anyway. And after you said it, after you did it, a lot of damage was done within yourself and within the other person, and you regret it. You beat your chest, you pull your hair, you are angry at yourself. You said, next time I will not do like that, I will not say like that again. You were very sincere. You were determined not to do it again, not to say it again. But the next time, when the situation presents itself, you will do it again, you will say it again, and you continue to destroy, to cause the damage between yourself and the other person. And that habit energy is there in every one of us. You say, it's stronger than us, it's stronger than you. According to the Buddha, according to the practice, there is a wonderful way to deal with that habit energy. That is to recognize it every time it manifests itself. If you are capable of recognizing the habit energy when it manifests, if you can smile to it, and then it will lose its power. It can no longer push you to do what you don't want to do. It can no longer push you to say what you don't want to say. And in order to be able to recognize that habit energy called tập khí, in order to be able to smile at it, to recognize it, you should have another kind of energy. And that energy is called the energy of mindfulness. Mindfulness, what is it? Mindfulness is the heart of Buddhist meditation. Mindfulness is the energy that can help us to know, to be aware of what is going on. This is easy to understand. Suppose I drink some water. And I am aware that I am drinking water. During the act of drinking, I do not think of anything else. I just focus my attention to the act of drinking. That act is already an act of meditation. It is called mindful drinking. You drink your water mindfully. And when you drink your water mindfully, mindfulness is there. That wonderful energy is there, called the energy of mindfulness. The Buddha is someone who is inhabited by the energy of mindfulness 24 hours a day. When the Buddha walks, he walks mindfully. When the Buddha drinks, he drinks mindfully. When the Buddha talks, he talks mindfully. He always establishes himself in the here and the now. He's aware of what is going on within himself or around him. And that energy that helps us to be aware of what's happening in the present moment, we call the energy of mindfulness. And it is exactly with the energy of mindfulness that you can recognize the awful habit energy in yourself. And when you are able to say, my habit energy, I know you are there, you cannot push me to do anything, to say anything, and you smile to it, and your habit energy will not be able to do anything to you. And every time you recognize it and smile to it, it will lose a little bit of its strength. And if it comes back, you recognize it again, you smile to it again, and it will lose again some of its strength until it is fully transformed. It is not by fighting it that you can transform it. It is by recognizing and smiling to it, smiling at it, smiling to it, that it can be transformed. It's a very wonderful practice. But how can you recognize your habit energy and smile to it if you do not have the energy of mindfulness, namely the energy of the Buddha? That is why you have to cultivate that energy called mindfulness. You have to learn to breathe mindfully. You have to learn how to walk mindfully. You have to learn how to drink mindfully. And during our retreat, we try to do that together. Together with us here, there are many monks and nuns, and there are many lay people who are experienced in the practice. They know how to walk mindfully. They know how to breathe mindfully. They know how to drink mindfully and speak mindfully. And they are around us. If you look at them, you see that they always walk mindfully. They enjoy every step they make. And when they sit or they walk, they always follow the in-breath and out-breath. And such a person is radiating peace and compassion around him or her. And if you care to practice, one day can already make a difference, because one day is a lot. If you devote your time to practice walking meditation, if you devote your time to practice mindful breathing, mindful eating, mindful drinking, and then after one day, the amount of energy of mindfulness in you has increased a lot. My dear friends, we have made a lot of effort in order to be able to come here to the retreat. It would be a waste if we spend our time talking and not practicing. We know that in our daily life we spend a lot of our time watching television and talking about things that are not useful at all, and reading books and magazines. Most of the articles are not useful. In fact, there is a lot of violence and fear and other kind of toxins in what we consume. Because in our daily life we consume a lot of harmful things. Television can be highly toxic. Magazines and novels can be highly toxic because the amount of violence and fear and hatred can be found everywhere in these products. We know that the young people in this country, they have a lot of violence within themselves. They have a lot of suffering and hatred within themselves. And we should not allow to be carried in that direction. Remember the shooting in many high schools in America? It means that the young people have absorbed so much toxins, so much fear, so much hatred, so much violence, so much discrimination. They don't have peace within themselves. They only have violence and fear and hatred. And that is why they suffer a lot, and they make the people around them suffer. We cannot do like that. We belong to a tradition of peace, of harmony, and we should go back to our true home in order to cultivate, to restore that peace and harmony within ourselves. And this is possible. I am sure that if you spend 5 days, 6 days in a retreat with all your heart, you will go home with more peace, more joy, more happiness, and more confidence in the future. Thầy will begin to speak in Vietnamese now. So those of you who do not understand Vietnamese well, you may like, when you hear the small bell, you may like to stand up and you bow to the congregation, and you follow a few brothers and sisters to a place where you continue to listen and to learn and practice in English. Ai muốn đứng dậy hết hả? Đứng dậy đi con. You follow Sister Hà đi.